Ty Simpson is in the leadership council at Alabama on this year's team. Kalen DeBoer was asked about it. We're going to play the clip. Kind of dismissed it. Don't dismiss it. I think it tells us exactly who's going to be the quarterback at the University of Alabama. Keelon Russell, the top-rated, most electrifying recruit in Alabama football history, continues to get a heap of praise for what he's doing at practice. But is Austin Mack the most important quarterback in this group? I think he might be. We're going to get into all that. I want to remind you guys we're going to be at Innisfree Tuesday. That's tomorrow, to do the show live. Let's do it live. We're going to do it live. We invite you to come hang out with us if you're in town. And Alabama shaking off the youth at linebacker. What's that mean? All of that right here on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel, brought to you by our friends over at Pearl River Resort. I think we got a good show. I hope we got a good show. Would you share with your friends? Help me get these numbers up. Like and subscribe. I ask you every day. We got to get it. We got to build. Beers on me Tuesday. Let's go. Hey everybody, Mick Gillespie, and it's great to see you on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, however you want to do it. But thank you for being here today as we talk Alabama. We're getting closer to being in town. Scrimmage tomorrow that's going to be open, and then Saturday we'll be back in Tuscaloosa again for the 8A game, or whatever we want to call that now. But what are you expecting at the quarterback spot? I know this is what you guys want to know about. This is the $1 million question. What is Alabama going to do at QB? Well, I'm going to put up on the screen here Mr. Kalen DeBoer. He is the head football coach at Alabama, and I want you to hear what he says, and then I'm going to interpret what he says, because he's going to tell you something, but I'm going to tell you what he's really saying. Okay, maybe I'm right, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. I don't know. I think I'm right, though. Let's play this.
About a quarterback decision, or what have you guys seen?
No, I mean, that leadership group was voted on in early January. So it was before spring even started, and I would expect Ty to be on that. You know, he's been here, vested a lot. I would have voted for Ty to be on that in January as well. So he does a great job, really, taking advantage of knowing the guys that are on the team, helping them. He's obviously got to take care of his business, and he does. So we ask guys to be leaders, and then when you take care of your business, bring someone with you, and he does a great job of that. I think, the other quarterbacks, continue to do it in different ways. Keelon does it with his presence. He's not probably going to be as vocal yet, just hasn't been around long enough. And Austin's kind of in there as well, has really, because of the confidence and the things he's done, especially the middle half of last fall, where he started really kind of, showing the effort and energy that he would bring the team. I think he's gained a lot of confidence being a leader as well.
We got 2 questions left.
All right, there you go. That's the head coach at Alabama. Great guy there, and Kalen DeBoer. And I think that DeBoer, first off, is a guy who's not going to give us a lot in these press conferences, right? I mean, he's going to keep it close to the vest, as they say. But look, he talks to us. He's been on our show. He's been on our channel before. He's a really good guy. He's genuine. Met him at the mullet toss, and then, obviously had him on the show, and he did a great job hanging out with Brett and I. And I still think that he is a great coach, and I think he's trying to figure out kind of how to navigate things with this program. With us as a fan base, it's a lot different than anywhere he's been. We know football as well as any fan base in the country. That's fact. You think he's getting questioned at Washington or Fresno State or Indiana. So he's stepping up now into a role where we're going to ask him questions, and we want to know what's going on, right? So why do I think it's important that Ty is in the leadership council? He said he would have voted for Ty to be in the leadership council. Of course you would have voted for him, because he belongs in there, right? You can't have a quarterback of a successful team not being the leader of the team. And how do we know that? Well, look, I mean, how many of you guys watch Elephant in the Room with Jake Coker? What's the thing that he always talks about? Winning the team over, being a leader, like being able to walk in and no one's going to question what his, intentions are, what he's trying to do. When you got people wondering who the quarterback is, You're choosing sides, and we've had that before. Remember when Tyler Watts and Andrew Zhao were both quarterbacks? Both really good players and guys that I think we both really like, but it was, you kept hearing about a divided locker room. Some guys were here, some guys were there. Remember when it was Milroe and Buckner and Simpson, and we didn't know who the quarterback was, but the team felt like it should be Milroe, and it took a while for it to get there. This feels like the team's already decided that it's Ty Simpson. They just have, because he's the guy that's been there 4 years. He's the guy that's put the time in. Like DeBoer said, he knows the players. He knows the playbook. Even though he didn't come with this group from Washington, he's just been around a long time, And so I think that that's a big deal for Alabama, and I think that the team kind of looks at him as the guy. And because they look at him as the guy, I feel like and then what do you hear? Hey, he looks the part, right? He looks like an SEC quarterback. When we saw him play in that game against South Florida, it wasn't pretty, but remember there were flashes of, when Milroe was benched, do you remember a couple of years ago? Well, there were flashes of what this guy can do. And you have to go out there, you have to be told it's your position, and you got to take the team over. That hasn't happened yet. But it's because, and I've talked about this before, it's because you can't do that, because these guys will just walk and you won't have a backup quarterback, right? So DeBoer has to play this out, but Simpson's going to be the quarterback unless he gets hurt. Mark my words. Now, I want to talk about Keelon Russell, because he talked about Keelon Russell. He's like, hey, he's not that vocal yet. Of course he's not. The guy was in high school last year. But what I will tell you about Russell is that every time they talk about him, they have like this, did you ever see that the Home Alone and Joe Pesci's like realizes the family's leaving town, and he smiles, he's got the gold teeth, he's dressed like a police officer, and it gleams. That's the look I get from these guys. Ryan Grubb and Kalen DeBoer, and you hear these guys and they talk about him because I think they realize that they have the guy that can lead them to a national championship. I think they feel that strongly about him. I get that vibe from him, and I think that's really exciting. But I don't think that he's going to be ready to be the backup quarterback. Not if you want to have depth at that position, right? So that's why Austin Mack is the most important player of the quarterbacks, because you got to have him. So you got to have him as the backup. He's got to be invested. Something happens to Ty, he's got to push Ty to make sure that, hey, if something happens, he's ready to step up and do the job. They talk about him coming over with them. We know that he can throw the deep ball. He's got ability to run. He's a big quarterback. This is really interesting because I don't think Mack would transfer this year. I just don't. And hopefully he sticks around, and that's kind of been the Alabama way. I mean, until you're like totally out of it, like Dylan Lonergan, who was like, look, I'm not going to play. And then you go somewhere else, right? Some of these other quarterbacks, and you always wish them the best, right? Even Jalen Hurts stuck around a year and was a backup after being the starter. But Austin Mack's important because he's a great piece to have in case anything goes wrong. He's like the break glass in case of emergency. And he's making this quarterback battle just string all the way out to the end. And that's what Alabama needs. They need to name Simpson the quarterback late in camp, after the transfer portal closes, get excited about these guys and get Keelon Russell some experience, and then kind of build on that from there. Right. So, but I'm telling you guys right now, I know I'm right. It's Ty Simpson above everybody else. Austin Mack kind of here, and Keelon Russell sneaking up into that spot where he's not quite ready to be the backup. It would be great for him to kind of take a season, redshirt, learn, do like Bryce Young, and then all of a sudden, next year he's backing up again, but he's in that position where he's really ready, and then the third year he's winning the Heisman Trophy. That's what I would like to see. And if something happens and these guys go to the NFL or transfer, he's ready to go. But the quarterback position is the toughest position in college sports to me, because you got to run this offense. You got to be able to know where everybody's at. You got to be able to basically manage the team on the field, and you get a little help with the headsets and stuff. But if you don't have a good quarterback, it's very difficult to win a championship. You can do it, but it's very difficult. The way that a lot of schools are doing it now, at least getting in the picture even, is by having an excellent quarterback that they can rely on, and then kind of use him to score and lead the offense and be exciting. I mean, we've had Tua, we've had Jalen Hurts, we had Mac Jones, Bryce above everybody. I mean, and you can go down the line. Jake Coker, one of those guys too. Love Jake Coker. AJ McCarron. I mean, those guys, there's a reason why we remember all those names, because they're difference makers. Now, I want to switch over to defense, because one of the things that we've seen in this camp is that Alabama is without some of their best linebackers. Deontay Lawson, remember, he was hurt in the Oklahoma game. He's back again. This got to be like his 18th year. It's great to have him back. He's had some really, really unfortunate injuries, but he's an excellent player. Justin Jefferson, hey, he gets to come back again, kind of change the rules, let him come back. Our friend Clint Lamb thinks that he's going to be one of the most important players on this team. And then where do you go from there? The guy that I'm really excited about is Colorado transfer linebacker Nakia Hill-Green. He is a Maryland guy. Love Ray Lewis. Likes to, kind of get in there and hit a little bit. But then you look at some of these other dudes that are getting an opportunity. QB Reese, we actually interviewed on this channel. Brett did. Brett talked to him when he committed to Alabama from the Birmingham area. Really, really bright guy. Somebody that likes to get in there and stick his head in there. Caden Jones, one of those guys. What about real freshman Duke Johnson? When your name's Duke, I mean, that means you play. I mean, Duke used to be written on the footballs that we played on, right? Duke, that gives you something. But Luke Metz, the guy from Georgia, Abdul Sanders, who is a big time guy that Alabama got out of California. But these guys wouldn't really be seeing that much playing time if you had depth or not those injuries. But it's providing depth for Alabama. And I think that it really is exciting to get these guys experience. And Kalen DeBoer kind of talked about it. Kane Womack's kind of talked about it as well. But the season may come and you might not see these guys a lot, you might. But just to have them in this position, right? And I think some of you guys felt like Bama should have taken the opportunity at the bowl game to do the same thing at the quarterback spot. Jalen Milroe, who, by the way, is invited to the NFL draft. Who knows what's going to happen with him there. But instead of having him play in the bowl game, have Ty Simpson in there, get the experience in that position, who knows. But you got to take a negative and you turn it into a positive. And that's what Alabama's doing with the linebacker spot. I'm still worried about the lack of depth. I'm still worried about it. But these guys are going to be a lot better off for having been in these practices. And then Kalen DeBoer talks about it, man. You're talking about guys getting, 150 snaps, 115 snaps, whatever it is, getting out there playing in game situations. We're not going to get to see it, right? Because they don't want us there. Now, they don't even want to put it on TV. But at the end of the day, Bama's a better football team for having these young guys get the opportunity. One thing I want to say before I get off here is that we're going to be in town. Mentioned it at the beginning of the show. I'm going to mention it again now. Innisfree in Tuscaloosa on Tuesday, and then back on Saturday. We're going to do Bama Tailgate and Cover Crimson, both there. So swing by, hang out. We'll be, I think, around noon, and we'll do the shows. Put them over the speakers, kind of be in that front area where they got the table and everything. But I'd love to see you guys come by and hang out if you're in the area. So probably more of you guys would be there Saturday than Tuesday. But if you're in Tuscaloosa, man, come by and get lunch, man. I ran into one of our friends at a restaurant in Orange Beach. He's like, I live here, but I'm in Georgia. And I'm like, man, roll tide, man. Hanging out in Athens area, kind of throwing down the Bama gauntlet. and then coming down to Orange Beach to God's country and and having Italian food. It was good to meet you, and I look forward to meeting all you guys. So swing by and roll Tide. Last thing that I want to tell you, and I got to throw the extra camera up to do it because I got to, right? And that is this right here. You may see two of me. Boom, there I am. That is a Daniel Moore print, okay? And until next Monday, you guys have a great deal. This is a great deal. It is 25% off when you use the promo code Bama Tailgate. Might be time to get that Ryan Williams print. Get that on the wall. Maybe you want this one right here, which is one of my favorites from the 2011 BCS National Championship game where I was sitting at the 50-yard line hanging out with my buddies and watching Bama crush LSU. I got the National Championship collection over here, and then Antoine Petway. I'm hoping they do a Mark Sears because I like my basketball prints. But anyway, you guys take advantage of that deal. When you go in there, say, where'd you hear? Bama Tailgate. Check out Bama Tailgate, 25% off when you do that. So take advantage of it. And newlifeart.com. You know Daniel Moore. Look at these things. Nothing says Roll Tide more than when someone comes over and sees beautiful prints. All right, finally, we are always presented by Pearl River Resort over in Philadelphia, Mississippi. You don't have to go to Vegas, where I was for the first round of the NCAA tournament, to get that sports book vibe, man. They got one. It's just like everything in Vegas, just a lot cheaper. And I mean cheaper, like the prices aren't as high. You don't have to pay $800 for a seat. They've got all the TVs, 20 TVs, with the games from all over the place. They got kiosks. They got the table if you need to go up there and throw your wager down. But it's fun, man. I'm not telling you to bet your mortgage on anything. I'm just saying, hey, you want to get away, you feel good about a game or whatever. It's fun to play that when you win, to go up there and collect that money. Like, ooh, I just won. I did a parlay, a 3-team parlay the first time and hit it. And it was a great feeling, man. Turning like $20 into like 100 and something. Anyway, you can do that too. Silver Star, Golden Moon Casino, Pearl River Resort. They got the awesome golf course. I know a lot of you guys are ready for golf. It's the Augusta you can play. The Azaleas and the Oaks are the two amazing golf courses that they have that you can take advantage of. Do that as well. Why not, right? And you got the spa, and it's about to get hot. Geyser Falls, their water park. We actually did a show from there. They're going to be in town with us on Tuesday at Innisfree. So anyway, we appreciate them. We appreciate you. This is the start of the final week of practice. So we're going to have a lot that we'll be covering on the channel. Roll Tide, everybody.
To Pearl River Resort.